Craft.
Hey everyone, welcome to littlecraftyourday.com. In today's Google Hangout, which is live on air, we have Heather Mann, the author of the new book that went on sale today, CraftFail, When Homemade Goes Horribly Wrong. Hey Heather.
Hey, how are you, Tanner?
I am doing great. I'm going to pull up some questions that I have for you today, and we're going to talk about your book, and we're just going to chit-chat for a little bit, guys, and I'm going to ask Heather some questions and sort of give you all a feel of what you can expect from Heather's new book. So Heather, do you want to tell us like an overview of the book and what people should expect from it, and a little bit more background about it?
Yeah, sure. It is, so CraftFail, the book and the website, is dedicated to helping crafters share the projects that don't quite work out. It's kind of like a fail blog, but how it differs from a lot of the other... August is going to tell you about it. How it differs from a lot of the other sites is that we do not go around looking for people to make fun of. It's all submitted by people themselves, and so we just are mostly helping to share the fails that people have. And we call them fails, but really I like to think of fails as learning opportunities. So it's a really friendly, fun, and supportive kind of fail.
Yeah.
So that's kind of that's what we're all about.
That's awesome. So how long has CraftFail, the website, been on the web?
So I started the website in 2009 after a series of failed craft project attempts. And instead of just throwing them in the trash or leaving them in the back of my closet, I was like, oh, these don't have to go to waste. I could post about them online, and that would be kind of funny, you know.
Yeah.
You know, it's embarrassing, but you know, then I won't feel like I wasted my effort. So I did that, and just immediately people started commenting and sharing it, and so I knew that I had hit on something that, you know, that people really want to see the things that aren't always successful and perfect and beautiful.
Right. So the book has tons and just tons of ideas of, it shows like the actual craft, and then the fail. I'm just going to show you just like an overview for everyone at home, sort of how it's formatted. And it's super cool. And here's one of my personal favorites of someone's canvas somehow getting burnt up, which I think is hilarious, but a great learning factor as well, just not to keep the heat too close. But it's hilarious in here. You've made like the comments about them are hilarious, and I've read through them, and I just get a kick out of them every time. So that's one of my favorite things, is because crafting like is normally very, I would say like everyone's more serious about the tutorials, and like they want everyone to you know, understand them really well. But with this book, it's sort of like a totally different factor where everyone's having fun with it and laughing at their fails, because we all did crafts that weren't successful because one reason or the other.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I think with Pinterest, people get the false idea that everything's going to come out perfect or like Martha Stewart-y right off the bat. Yeah. Well, the truth is, Martha Stewart people, when they design their crafts, they have just as many fails along the way, developing it into a perfect and beautiful craft. And they have a team of people who are there to make it look perfect. So, you know, it's just not going to be like that in your own kitchen or on your own craft table.
Right.
You know, especially if you don't have the experience and you've never before. I mean, definitely you can't really expect yourself to always get everything like Martha Stewart perfect on your first try.
No, and sometimes when I find craft tutorials that, like you said, on Pinterest, they look very easy, especially with the ones with a few step graphics. And sometimes you might mess up one little thing that could change the whole outlook of the project. So it's always good to, you know, laugh at your fails, and I think it's a great book just for every crafter just to let loose and just enjoy it. So I think it's super fun. Out of all the fails in your book, do you have a personal favorite?
I was looking through it, and it is so hard to decide. I think probably the marble nail polish is one of my favorites, just because it's one of those things where you see it and you're like, wow, that's amazing, I have to try that. Yeah. And then when you try it, it just doesn't look very good. It just turns out bad, and that's because it's not as easy as it looks. So we've gotten a lot of, we have several of those in the book because so many people have tried that one and it just hasn't worked out. So I like that one a lot.
That's an awesome one, and like I said, I love the melted crayon canvas rainbow because it's blowing up on Pinterest, and it's been hot on Pinterest. And literally, as you made a comment that you said it was hot, so I thought that was hilarious, and I love the comment.
I like a lot of the food fails just because everyone can identify with cooking or baking something and it just not looking that great.
Yeah.
There are just a lot of different ones in there that I like.
So how did CraftFail go from the website that you posted on in 2009, sharing your fails, into a book and the hit website? How did that all come to pass?
So I would definitely have to say that when Pinterest got popular in about 2011, it really helped my book. I mean, not my book, my site, because so many new people were trying out crafts and trying out things that they saw, cool ideas that they saw online, and it just wasn't working as well. And so everyone could identify with the picture of the ideal thing, and then right next to it the picture of the failure. And so I think it just was a really perfect medium for sharing craft fails. So that's really where the website started getting bigger and more popular, and then that helped me to turn it into a book.
Yeah. Yeah. So how long have you been working on the book?
So I've been working on this book for about 2 years, and that's from the process where I have to, where you write a book proposal so that, you're like, this is what I want to write my book about, this is what the book's going to look like, and then you send it out to publishers, and then it takes, several months to find somebody and get all the details arranged. So yeah, about 2 years from that to this day.
Yeah. So what was the difficultest part of writing CraftFail?
So for me, the first draft was the hardest, and there were two parts to that. One is because you're starting with basically nothing. I mean, you're starting with a pile of fails but no words, so you have to create something from nothing. And then the other part was that the way that you write a book is just like by writing a big Word doc, which is so different than blogging. Blogging, you're writing like words and you put in the pictures and you kind of have a visual of how everything's going to go the whole time. And when I was writing the book, I just had the manuscript with words, and then I put like a little like notation that a photo would go there, so I really couldn't see what I was. I don't know. It was difficult to kind of match the words to the images when I didn't have it all right there in front of me.
Right.
So that was the hardest part.
So you've been extremely successful creating content online, like with your awesome, popular dollar store crafts website. Would you mind sharing like how you got started in just the craft, crafting in online, sharing content, and talk about how you've turned that into a job?
Yeah, sure. Well, I've considered myself crafty for probably the last 15 years since I left college. But I didn't, there was no job, there was no craft blogging job ever when I was a kid, so you couldn't be like, oh, I want to be a craft blogger when I grow up, because there were no blogs, and that just wasn't a job. So I think really for me, it starts with a love of writing, which I always wrote every day from when I was a kid to now, just for fun. I mean, I've made it was just a compulsion to write all the time. And then I think just it's one of those things where like, look what I made. You want to share, like, look what I made. So so that's kind of like the matching up of writing with look what I made is a blog. And I went through a phase where I did like the Etsy shop, and I tried to because I just like to make stuff. So I would make stuff and then I'd try to sell it, and it just really nobody ever really wanted to buy it. But I still wanted to make it, making stuff, and so I hit upon how if you blog about it, you take a picture of it and you write about it, that's your product. And so I mean that was a perfect solution for me, because then I was able to make stuff and have fun making it, but I didn't have to then sell it and try to figure out how to make it worth my while.
Yeah, it's definitely harder that way for sure.
Yeah, so blogging was perfect for that. And then just in the last 5 years, it's become a thing where you can actually make a living at it. And I mean, it's been a weird road because it's been like, it's gone from it's not a job to, oh, it's a hobby where you can make money, to now it's a job. And so I've had to just kind of discover along the way how you make money at it, and how, you know, how to match up your love of crafting and writing with, balance it with making money on it. I mean, it's not why I do it. I don't do it to make money just because I think I would do it even if I wasn't making money. But since there is money to be made.
I think it's also...
You know, I make content, and I like making content, and people need content, and so to find a way to match the need with, you know, what I can provide has been fun.
I think it's awesome that you've been able to do that, and you've inspired me to try to take my blog and monetize it more, and to be able to put more time into it, because, you know, when there is something there to be made, it's fun. And the whole reason I got started on YouTube was, it wasn't ever that I wanted to sell the stuff that I did make. It was more of a part where I wanted to teach and inspire and connect with other crafters.
Yeah.
I came from a home where there isn't any other crafters. My mom doesn't craft. My grandma doesn't. You know, so it was really a place where I was able to connect with just other people and doing something I enjoyed, so I didn't feel so like left out.
Yeah, that's so true. Because it's so hard to find someone right around you who likes the exact same things you do. But when you're online, you can find, I mean, there are like so many friends to be found and so many ways to connect with them online. So yeah, that's really true.
So I see your kids all over social media, and they're adorable, by the way. Your baby, August, is adorable. Has any of your older kids helped take part in any craft fails?
Yeah, I made sure that each of them has a photo in the book, at least one photo of them. And there was actually one fail. My book's on the floor, but it's like on the first page they actually put the picture, but there's a fail inside the book where I was trying to make a tissue paper ball thing. And my son, who was 7 at the time, totally nailed it. Like, he did it perfectly, and I tried it, and it looked so awful. So yeah. I thought that was...
You posted on Instagram like a few weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was great because, I mean, he got it perfect, and I failed it. So it's just interesting to see how, you know, so I think it's really personality, like how you attack doing some crafts that work for some people and don't work for others. They fail with me because we just like to make stuff, and we experiment, and we have ideas and then try to carry them out, and they work or they don't work. One thing about crafting with kids, though, and I want to emphasize this to any parents who might be listening, is that kids don't see things as a fail. So if you make something for them, or you make food, or like a cute cupcake or whatever for them, I would never be like disappointed or try to express to them that you don't like it, because they will be delighted by it. Kids don't see things that way at all. They just see the effort, and they see what you were going for. I think kids really have that magic thing where they can see it for what you wanted it to be. So definitely, I mean, my kids and I talk about craft fails. Like, if we make a mistake, we're like, oh, that's a craft fail, you know, but it's more like a fun thing, not so much like, oh, I feel bad, right. I craft failed. So I really like that I've been able to teach my kids that failure is a fun part of the learning process, because I grew up as a child, I just hated it whenever I failed, and I would try to avoid anything that, you know, I might make a mistake at. And so for me, that's kind of why I love this book too, is because I grew up hating failure, and now I kind of love it. So it's that process for me that I've learned over my life.
For sure changed, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've wrote the book. This is your first book, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have, like, I don't know how many websites. How many are there?
Yeah, good question. I have a few. I have, like, my main ones are just Dollar Store Crafts and CraftFail. And then I have a couple other ones, but, I mean, I would say those are my two main squeezes.
For sure. And you write on all kinds of websites. So the question is that I always feel that you have to ask when you're interviewing someone, what's next?
What's next? So now that the book is out today, I'm really happy with it, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. And it was a lot of work, but I think that it was worth it. So I definitely do want to try to write another book. And I mean, it would make sense for it to be dollar store crafts. I don't know yet. I have to put it all together and start that whole process again now. So that's what I'm hoping to do, but I can't. There's nothing like in concrete right now, but I would love to do that. And then I like making videos, so I would like to be doing more of that. And I have some funny ideas for video series that involve crafts. So maybe I can pull those off.
You have your new studio in your new house, so that would be super fun to do. And one of the things is that I love is how much content you create. And I just love seeing everything that you do. So if you're new to Heather and never, or you might not saw Heather was behind all the stuff, Heather out. I'll be sure to include her social media links in the description box below this video. And thank you so much, Heather, for taking the time to come on and let us chat about Heather's new book, CraftFail. And by the way, where can they pick up CraftFail?
You can get CraftFail on Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble. Your independent bookstore will probably be carrying it, and if they don't, just ask them and they can pick it up for you. But pretty much anywhere that books are sold, I think you can find it.
So we'll include like the Amazon link for sure to go check out CraftFail, and the MSRP is $12.95, right?
Yep.
Awesome. So thanks so much, Heather, and I wish you the best of luck and cannot wait to see what's next for you.
Thanks, Tanner. It was fun chatting with you.
Fun chatting with you too, Heather. See you.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay, bye.